Good day, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Vise Squad, brought to you by Sea Run Fly and Tackle. This week, we're going to downsize a little, even further than we did last week, and we're going to tie this little twisted wire nymph that Rick thought it looked like an alien. So I've added a couple antenna, fishing with or without it. But to get started, I'm going to put a size 10 jig hook in the vise, and I've got a black 1/8 tungsten slotted bead. So we'll start with that, and this week I'm going to tie with some 70 denier yellow UTC ultra thread, and what we're going to do is start that there. It's going to be sort of a two-part process here, so this will be step one. Cut that off. So what I've done is I've got two pieces of ultra wire here. This is size small. That does work really well with size brassy. Anything bigger than that, and this is kind of too chunky for these small hooks. So I've got two different colors here, blue and fluorescent yellow, and I've cut them about 13 inches long. And what I want to do is line up the ends so that they're even. And I'm going to tie that on my side of the hook with the yellow wire above the blue wire. You can see that on there. This is sort of important to keep these things straight, otherwise the twist doesn't come out so nicely.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is a momentous occasion. It is profoundly moving to know there is intelligent life out there. Alien life. And our world will never feel quite the same again.
Tie that in nice and tight and wind the thread back to more or less where you started. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that wire and make sure, I hope that that picks it up on the camera, that that yellow wire stays on the left hand side. And we're going to fold it back on itself, making sure that I have enough to tie in like that, and I want to maintain that yellow wire being on the left. So it'll be yellow blue if you're looking at it. Then we're going to reach in there and kind of pinch that on, and we're going to tie that guy down nice and tight. And we can leave our bobbin up there. Now what we're going to do is grab a dubbing twister, or dubbing loop twister, whatever you want to call it. Something looks like that. Maybe it looks a little different than that one. Whatever, it's the right tool for the job. So I've got these twisted now. There we go. So we want to again make sure that all our wires are pointed the same way, or the right way. And we're going to put our dubbing loop twister on there. Try that again. Okay, well, at any rate, I've got blue, yellow, so which is fine as long as they're opposite. So next what we're going to do is we're going to start twisting this wire, and make sure you keep some tension on it, otherwise the twist doesn't work quite right. And what you do is you just twist it until it breaks off the end of your dubbing twister, is kind of what you're going for. And you know it's all nice and tight. It's going to be nice and consistent. It should be close right there. Okay, next we're going to unwind that wire off of there. Like that. And now we're left with what we're gonna tie and wrap around the body, like that. So we're gonna set that aside for just a second. And what we'll do is we'll leave that thread there. For the antenna, I'm gonna use just a couple pieces of, I've got green pheasant tail here. So I just use 2 little barbels of that feather. And make sure my points are even. The easiest way to found to do this is to put it on the hook, sort of. Slide the bead over it, and then you can push those pheasant tails through like that, making sure they stay on the top side of that hook shank. Like that. And then you can make your antenna as long or short as you want. In this case, we'll make it about the length of the hook shank. And then what I'm gonna do is just kind of loosely tie those in, making sure that they stay up on top. And then I'm gonna run a bit of a big thread down behind that bead so that the bead stays where I want it to. Like that. My little antenna are on there, like so. Next, we're gonna put some little legs in at the back, which we're gonna use some crystal flash for. I've got a piece of crystal flash here, just one piece. I'm just gonna cut a couple inches of it off and split it. Make legs out the back. And maybe just tie them in on either side of that hook shank just to keep them separated best you can. And we'll get rid of the excess there. And those, I don't know, make them as long as you want. That's probably a little less than the length of the hook there. So next we'll go back to our twisted wire that we made. And I'm gonna grab a pair of snips and get rid of just that end that we used to tie. And I'm gonna lay that right on top of the hook. And I'm gonna push it up inside that bead up in here. Just kind of help hold the bead there, a little extra security. What we're gonna do is wind our way back, making sure that that wire stays right on top. Just give it a nicer, easier to give it a nice profile. And then we're just mailed up just a little tapered body. There's not a lot of hook shank to work with there, but you can get a little taper in there. Now we'll take that wire and we'll just start wrapping it. Just touching wraps, keep it nice and tight. And we'll probably leave maybe a bead width behind the bead open there. We'll put a little dubbing collar and I'm gonna add some more flash in there too. So we'll just tie that in nice and tight. And sometimes with that many wires, sometimes you can spin it out, sometimes you have to snip it out. Today we get lucky. And next we're going to add a couple more pieces of crystal flash. So I'm just gonna cut this piece in half, I guess. Make it a little easier. I'm just gonna tie that in at the top end of the wire there and just down the side of the hook. Kind of flares out the side a little. And we'll do the same on the other side. that. Now let's snip the excess out here. And make them the same. Up to you really how long you want to make them. Like the body, maybe a little longer than like the body seemed okay. Next we're going to grab some ice dubs. This is UV Dark Olive. And just grab the smallest little pinch. And we'll just build a little dubbing collar behind the bead. And while we're doing this, I will we'll deal with this week's question. So this week's question, I'm going to point you to my good pal Kyle Kelm's latest video, the Guns N' Roses Chironomid video. And what should we ask? What are the two types of flash or body material that he used? Let's go with that. So whoever can answer below on the YouTube video feed here, I'll win a few of these little alien flies there. I'm sure Rick has got a real funky name for him, dreamed up in his head. And to finish this, we'll just throw a little whip finish on there, a couple wraps behind that bead. Nice and tight, like so. Just a fun little wire nymph. Maybe get you down a little quicker. I mean, it's gonna add some weight to the body. Drag it across the bottom. They look cool in all other colors. I've done these quite a few of these in different colors, and they look pretty neat. Should be fairly effective down in the water. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your week. Hope you enjoyed the segment. If you did, please hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit the bell beside it. You won't miss any of our upcoming content. Definitely go out and check our other tires. There's a few of us now tying these things for Vise Squad. And thanks to C-Run, thanks to Rick, thanks to everyone.